My name is Willis Lamb, Field Supervisor of the LRTC Technical Large Animal Rescue Team in northwestern Nevada. We are an all-risks team that covers multiple counties and responds to an average of over 500 incidents per year. In technical large animal rescue, we don't typically think about crime scenes. After all, we're technical rescuers. However, at times we will arrive at what turns out to be a crime scene. How we conduct ourselves can either help or hinder law enforcement personnel and investigators. The difference may be critical in a criminal case. We might be called in response to a report of downed animals and notice something inappropriate. We might respond to a crash involving livestock that resulted from some driver's criminal action. We might respond to assist at a neglect or abuse case. We might respond to help locating a missing horse and discover a cut fence or opened gate. We might respond to help locate a missing rider and find a body. It is critical to know what to do and perhaps more importantly, what not to do when we have reason to believe that we may have arrived at a crime scene. To maintain our skills, we periodically train with Lyon County Sheriff's Search and Rescue, a team that has proven to have highly developed tracking, evidence identification, and evidence collection skills. While it is not our task to collect evidence, by understanding protocols and techniques, we can avoid contaminating or compromising evidence that could be important in a criminal case. Anytime that we arrive at any scene, we need to be observant and take in the entire situation as best we can. Such observations are not just for evidence protection, but also for our own protection from natural or human-caused hazards, or if a perpetrator is still nearby. If we suspect a crime scene, a timestamp can be important. Something as simple as placing a smartphone on record mode and narrating the time and location can ensure that the timeline of an incident is started correctly. Our members would also notify our dispatcher, who then would also record the time and request appropriate authorities to respond. We need to avoid disturbing any evidence. For example, if we approach downed livestock and discover potential foul play, avoid touching or tampering with anything. Take photos if appropriate for investigators and back out by retracing your steps and not adding any additional tracks. For the same reason, to check an animal, only one member should enter the immediate area to check. Other members should focus on securing the scene to prevent the disturbance of other signs and evidence. At one notorious crime scene, do-gooders entered the scene and tampered with evidence, contributing to the district attorney allowing a plea down to a lesser charge. Until officials arrive, nobody should enter the area where there could be potential evidence and signs. When trained responders deal with scenes appropriately and help identify but not disturb signs and evidence for law enforcement and investigators, justice can be served. We need to discuss what's called body scoring. Our first indication that something may be wrong is our initial observation of the animals of concern. A common method of identifying the condition of a horse is through standardized body scoring. This process can be a bit confusing as there are two different scoring systems in use. We use the Heineke equine body scoring system that categorizes body conditions numerically from 1 to 9. As Dr. Don Heineke has explained, this is an observational system, not a diagnosis. Animal control officers and their agencies have gotten into trouble when they jump to conclusions as to why an animal was in a particular condition. An animal with a poor body score without a reasonable explanation could well justify further investigation, but a poor body score by itself is not generally actionable. We also need to be careful in describing the other elements of a scene, avoiding inserting conclusions or opinions. For example, a small baggie of white powder may appear to be drugs, but we describe what we see, not what we think it might be. Opinions can be distractions from prosecution in court, as they provide opportunities for defense attorneys to challenge the veracity of us as witnesses. Fortunately, in the cases we've been involved with, we followed the protocols. The defense attorneys challenged the officers involved, but not us. Let's recap the key points. Observe the entire scene. Use soft eyes. Don't fixate on specific things. Evaluate overall scene safety. Timestamp and report your situation. Observe and document, but don't disturb any signs or evidence. Have only one member approach the animal. Back out the way you entered. Secure the scene until officials arrive. Be alert, be smart, follow the protocols. Also, taking a qualified search and rescue type tracking course can greatly improve your backcountry skills. This video is provided solely for orientation and to illustrate our equipment and practices that we have found useful. Persons inexperienced with these activities should receive competent instruction and have sufficient practice to operate safely and confidently when under pressure, and in sketchy situations to not mess up a potential crime scene. Thanks for watching this video. We hope that it has provided you with some useful material. For more information, please visit lrtcrescue.org.